Hey, so this is me, the one behind the computer. And this is what my brain looks like. Or probably. And
This is your brain on drugs.
just kidding, this is what my brain looks like since reporting on NFTs. I've learned a lot, but still have some questions. And I've never really considered myself a scientist, but I decided to conduct an experiment. So here's the plan. I'm going to make my own NFT and a physical equivalent. Then I'll check back in and evaluate the process of making each before posting the NFT on OpenSea, a common marketplace for NFTs, and the physical version on Etsy. If I'm lucky, one of them might sell. Before I get started though, I needed some inspiration, so I looked up some popular NFTs to get a sense of the style people like. I noticed that a lot of them were square portraits of people, creatures, human-like animals, or something else. And that really told me all I needed to get started. So, like with any artwork, I began with a blank canvas. From there, I worked with bright colors which seemed popular, and I used a Greek bust to incorporate the old artwork with the new. It's a fairly simple process, and it took me just over an hour and a half to complete. And here's the final version. Now, it's time to make the same thing but on canvas. I opted for a silkscreen print in order to achieve those clean lines I got with the digital version. Now, this process took much longer. I started at 1 p.m. and didn't wrap up until around 7. 6 hours and quite a bit of supplies. And even in the end, it wasn't as neat as the digital version and had its fair share of imperfections, as art always does. Now it was time to list each item. I started with the NFT since, admittedly, I was the most intimidated by that process. I had to follow a few steps which were kind of complicated, and I'm sure the less tech-savvy individuals would struggle with. And here's where I panicked. Read and change all data? Modify my data? I was nervous since during my reporting a friend of mine was nearly scammed out of $350 when trying to purchase an NFT, which I'm told is a fairly common occurrence for new buyers. So it all felt a bit invasive, but the show must go on, so I eventually agreed. Then I had to fill out certain information about my NFT. I gave it a title, a description, a URL, and then it asked me to choose a form of Ethereum, which admittedly I didn't really understand, so I just left that part blank. Next up was my Etsy listing, which took a third of the time since I understood all the questions. In listing though, I had to choose a specific price. And this was a difficult question to answer since I wasn't really sure how to determine the value of my piece. Considering all that went into its creation, I settled on $30, not including shipping. Not quite the 6 figures professional artists are used to, but it's a start. Neither listing required a payment for me, so the process was entirely free minus my labor, hours, and my sanity. Once they were both up though, it was just a waiting game. After 24 hours, I didn't see any traction for either of them. And then 48 hours and nothing, 72, nothing, and even about a week later, still nothing for each. So I came out with no real clear answers, but I guess that's the draw to NFTs. There's a chance that I'll never see an update, but there's another chance, however small, that I might get big.